welcome to Carolina Classrooms. I'm Laura Ibarra. On this episode, we're sharing the creative work of students in South Carolina. We're turning the camera over to student journalists and content creators. So grab a snack, sit back, and enjoy the show.
Roll cameras. Slate. Action.
Students at Horse Creek Academy in Aiken shared this story on the pros and cons of artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence, more commonly known as AI, is one of the most controversial topics at the moment. Although it may seem innocent at first, the safety of AI has been a major talking point among leaders in technology.
The consequences of AI going wrong are severe.
With the unpredictability of the future of artificial intelligence, it is important for us to find ways to regulate and make sure AI doesn't take over our creativity. I think in the next 20 years, it is extremely important that we take AI as a serious issue.
I'm sure most people have seen at least one or more examples of AI, whether it be the viral Tom Cruise deepfake or the celebrity AI song parodies. AI is making major advancements on a weekly basis, and it is impossible to tell how it will look 20 years from now.
We are in the fourth industrial revolution right now. So for this revolution, we are looking at virtual reality, augmented reality, bioscience, robotics.
AI intelligence is a computer system that is designed to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. It works by processing vast amounts of data using algorithms and learning from patterns. Think of it as a machine designed to mimic human-like thinking. Now, what if I told you that this entire script was written by an AI on my smartphone instantly? This is just one example on how AI can be used to replace human intelligence.
The tools that have prompted the most news and maybe are what are concerning this group are these large language models like ChatGPT.
Generating text is not the only thing artificial intelligence can do. There are many programs that can create things like art and music that would normally take humans hours of hard work. But for the AI, it's instantaneous. These programs aren't hard to use or cost tons of money. Most of them can be used for free in your browser and can produce amazing results.
Although AI isn't inherently bad, it can be used to spread false information, using things like deepfakes and voice replication. And we've gotten to the point where it's almost indistinguishable from real life.
Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. It's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources.
Artificial intelligence gathers its data from sources from all over the web, some of which are taken from websites without permission from owners, which brings up a lot of questions when it comes to copyright and plagiarism.
Because these technologies are so new, that we're not sure where some of this liability might come from, if at all.
If everybody's starting at point zero and having to build up rules themselves, it can be quite difficult.
As technology advances, it's becoming more accessible and easier to use AI, which has led to a rise in the spread of false information.
So much attention last spring was brought to that created song that was made to sound like Drake and The Weeknd, and of course their record label stepped in and said, you're going to have to, all of the streaming services, you're going to have to pull this down, and basically they complied because you have the might of that record label threatening litigation.
AI isn't limited to making fun art and music. Here's an example of how fast someone can create a deepfake in order to spread false information.
The big question is, what can we do to make the use of AI more safe and stop the spread of false information? Recently, an executive order regarding AI was signed by Joe Biden. In it, they discussed things like compliance with federal laws and AI's effect on employment, immigration, and even civil rights.
This executive order will use the same authority to make companies prove that their most powerful systems are safe before allowing them to be used.
You want to be able to maximize the benefits and minimize the harms.
One of the most prevalent examples on how AI is affecting employment is the recent SAG-AFTRA strike, which had a major effect on the future of the entertainment industry. SAG-AFTRA stands for Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists.
People primarily know us for representing actors in film and TV.
but we also represent actors in commercials and audiobooks and podcasts.
In the agreement with the major studios, artificial intelligence was a main talking point in which they will agree that the producers will be required to consent for the use of the actors' overall face scans.
They actually have to pay you, and they have to pay what we call pension and health contributions, which are SAG-AFTRA-based payments, just for licensing that replica.
Beauty is an eye of the beholder, and by limiting access to that, maybe we are limiting access to other artistic opportunities that have been, not explored up to this point.
It is American companies that lead the world in AI innovation.
It's clear that there will be rogue companies and other companies that will not go along on their own.
There's no other way around it, in my view. It must be governed.
I believe this is extremely important that the United States take a lead in the regulation of artificial intelligence in order to protect our jobs and keep creativity alive. AI will be a major part of our future in the next 20 years, and it needs to be used as a tool rather than a weapon.
The next work comes from the Center for Advanced Technical Studies in Lexington, Richland, District 5.
So my first experience with the creating original opera was in 1993, and I was teaching in Beaufort, South Carolina, and a grant came available that myself and a 5th grade teacher could go to a 10-day training with the Metropolitan Opera Company and learn how to take kids from the very beginning to performing an opera, so writing and composing and applying for jobs and building and acting. So I came back to school that year, and the 5th grade teacher and I worked together, and we did that with the entire 5th grade. They could choose from one of 12 jobs. We tell them they have to apply for the jobs. They have to choose their top 3. Then they go to work on working on their application. It's a 2-part application. Then we have job interviews. Then we choose our company. We have the big reveal.
Today is our big reveal.
I got cornbread. You got cornbread. My name's on the performer. My name's on the performer.
We let them know that there are about 87, 90 kids in 5th grade, and only 8 of them are on stage. The other 82 are making it happen.
When we walked that red carpet and I saw my name on that board, I didn't know what to think. I was like, should I be excited or should I be freaked out?
My name is Taha El Farisi, and I'm a carpenter in the Champion Productions Opera.
My name is Garrison Hampton, and I work in PR for the Champion Productions Opera Company.
Hi, my name is Isaiah Parker, and I am a performer for the opera.
Hi, I am Abigail Morales, and I am one of the makeup and hair designers.
Hello, I'm Charlie, and I am one of the electricians.
Hello, my name is Amanda Walsh, and I am a stage manager.
Hi, my name is Anaya, and I am a historian.
Hi, my name is Jamara Rogers, and I am a writer.
I'm Paisley Bell-Ziegler, and I'm a costume designer.
I'm Joshua Brown, and I am a composer for the opera.
they can do it all. And if you just let them, this is a gradual release of power from adult to kid. So by the time opening night comes, they're on their own, and it's pretty spectacular.
Apparently in costume designer, we may or may not sew, and I don't want to get pricked by a needle or something while trying to sew.
You have to sew? I thought you just had to buy clothes.
Kids are so amazing and can do anything that you ask of them, and they don't know their potential sometimes, and every aspect of this program brings out the very best in what kids can do.
I think the show will be successful, but if someone plays around, no.
Same.
Do you think the show will be successful?
I don't know. I mean, these 5th graders are kind of crazy.
Our 5th grade students and staff, we would like to thank Ms. Brooks for making this possible.
The success of the opera, I think, came in many different layers. I could measure the success by how many tickets we sold. I could measure the success by how much money we made on ad space. I could measure the success on how, when it was all over, kids were bawling, crying. I could measure the success by teachers coming up to me and parents saying, this literally changed my kid's life. I think there's lots of ways to measure the success, but I think the biggest probably is that we have put the opera into our strategic plan as a school to where this is an expectation. This is a moving forward 5th grade thing. On a very basic level, strike is after the final show, you strike. You break everything down, every aspect of the show, as if it were never here.
We have to see each other every single day for 30 minutes.
That's not the point. This was the only thing that really brought us closer than we were.
But that day when it was over, I mean, kids were just bawling. They just, they didn't want it to end. Neither did we.
Students at the Broadcast and Journalism Academy at Edisto Elementary School in Orangeburg shared their thoughts on testing and their favorite subjects in school.
Welcome to the Cougar News Network. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Addison, and we are looking forward to this next segment from our school spot at Edisto Elementary School, where we will hear from some students on the topic of education.
Let's check in with Savannah to see what some students have to say about these important issues.
Thank you, Taylor. Today, I'm here in the Baja studio with some students, and we're discussing their thoughts on testing. Students go through a lot of testing throughout the school year. Noelle, what are your thoughts about testing?
My thoughts about testing is whenever you take tests, you have to take it to see where you are in your grades and what area you need to learn at.
Great response. Cadence, do you think testing is important?
I think it's important because teachers need to know where we are and to see how hard we studied.
Ariana, what are tests used for? Tests are used for seeing what we've learned throughout the school year and see what we still need to work on. Great. Is testing stressful?
It is kind of, because whenever you have a question that you do not know, you have to guess it and try your best.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice or tips for our viewers who will be testing soon?
I do. I think y'all should pay attention and always work hard.
I think you should get lots of rest the day before and then eat healthy. Thank you for sharing your response with us. This has been Savannah reporting for your EES School Squad. Now, let's send it to Imani on the EES Playground.
Thank you, Savannah. I'm Imani here on the EES Playground with some students, and they are sharing their thoughts on their favorite subject in school. Now, Adriana, what is your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject in school is science.
Can you tell me why you like science?
I like science because we get to do a lot of hands-on experiments like the one we just did with vinegar and rocks that cause chemical weathering.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. Hey, Jen, can you tell me what is your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject is math.
Can you tell me why you like math?
It's because we get to learn new skills and learn how to calculate numbers.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on your favorite subject in school. This has been Imani from the EES School Squad, sending it to Tristan in the EES classrooms.
Thank you, Imani. I'm here in the EES classroom where students are working very hard. Let's see what they have to say about their overall school experience. Hi, Ellie. What is your favorite part of your school day?
My favorite part of my school day is math class because it's very challenging and we get to learn new things every day.
I like math too. Hi, Adeline. Can you tell me something that you learned today?
Something that I learned today is area and perimeter. And area is when you times length times width. And perimeter is when you add all the sides.
Great response. Hi, Bryce. What is one word that describes your school experience?
One word that describes my school experience is challenging.
What's challenging, Bryce?
Writing. Writing is challenging because it's not one of my favorite things to do, but my teacher always pushes me to try my best.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts about school. This has been Tristan reporting on behalf of your EES School Squad, sending it back to Anderson in the Baja studio.
Thank you to the School Squad at EES for some great reporting on these important issues relating to students in our state. It is enlightening to hear what students have to say about these topics.
We hope you enjoyed this segment on the Cougar News Network. And remember to follow us on Facebook at Baja at EES. See you next time.
Thank you, Taylor. Today I'm here in the Baja studio with some students, and we're discussing their thoughts on testing.
Thank you, Savannah. I'm Imani here on the EES Playground with some students, and they are discussing their thoughts on their favorite subject in school.
Thank you, Imani. I'm here in the EES classroom where students are working very hard. Let's see what they have to say about their oral...
Petty is an 8th grader at Southeast Middle School in Richland County School District 1. She's an artist who entered her work in SCETV's Flow Fusion contest, celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip-hop.
The world is mine. If I rule the world, imagine that.
I made a art piece that represented the history of hip-hop, and I included things such as instruments, different races, and then I also included the more higher spectrum that there can be included in hip-hop that helps you express yourself. I listened to music to do it because I wanted to see like what song and what did I like in my mind, like what did I feel and see when I drew. They're all like in the position of 50 because for hip hop it's the birthday coming up for it of 50 years. So I did one person doing DJing, another person, well, 2 people doing DJing, I guess you could call it. And then 2 people dancing on the side. And I also put a bunch of like bubbles around that, and there was different things such as like going together and working together in a way. I like to use watercolor, pencils, and usually I like sketching and using markers. Whatever I feel, I put my like emotions into it, and certain colors can represent how I feel. So if I'm more in like a happy mood, I'll put like blues, pinks, and like lighter colors and mostly warm colors actually. And then if I'm more sad, I put like the darker, colder colors.
The Fine Arts Center in Greenville is a high school focused on the arts. Students in their digital filmmaking program learn about the motion picture industry by creating their own short films.
Maman, ne touche pas la lumière, s'il te plaît. What are you doing, Kat?
Thank you so much to the students who shared their work, and a big shout out to their teachers who guide them through the process. You can find more education stories from around the state on our website, carolinaclassrooms.org. Keep in touch on our Facebook page or by email and let us know what you'd like to see on Carolina Classrooms. Thanks for joining us.